long story how I ended up with this. So, about, I don't know, year or two ago, year and a half ago, I was over at my mom and I's friend's house, and I'd seen this truck in their barn for a long time, but I never really asked about it. I just liked it because it was an old truck, but I never went out to the barn and looked at it. And then I went out and looked at it. One day we were out there in the barn, and Mike starts it up, and it's real loud, and I thought it sounded really cool. And so then he drives it out of the barn and parks it in the driveway, and I took some pictures of it and just really enjoyed the truck. I thought it was really cool. It's my kind of truck. It's got some character to it, but that's what I like about it. That makes it unique from all the other trucks running around. And so anyway, Mom's friends knew that I was interested in this, and so when they got ready to sell it a couple months ago, I got first dibs on it. And I really wanted it, and I was like, tell them yes. I didn't care about, like, I'd been saving for this truck since I saw it, so I had money saved up. And even that's before I knew it was for sale. I was saving money for it. And then my dad and I don't quite see eye to eye with we don't like the same sort of vehicles, I guess is what I'll say. I looked for a year and a half before I found that Studebaker that's sitting over there, and that was probably the first or second thing that we had looked at that my dad actually liked. I like stuff with character, and he likes stuff that's nicer and that sort of thing. And so I don't know. It was really hard. I couldn't, no matter what I said, it didn't matter. I couldn't convince my dad that I should have this. And my mom knew I really wanted it, and I was up till 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, somewhere in that realm of trying to convince my dad that I should get this, because I had majority of the money for it, and I didn't know quite how much I had, but I had money. And I also knew that for Christmas I had asked both sets of my grandparents to just give me money for Christmas instead of like gifts or anything, because this would be better than any gift. This is the best gift right here. And so anyway, my dad didn't want to work on it because it's Ford, and my dad doesn't like Fords. And so there was just nothing I could do to convince my dad. I got up early the next morning. It was a Saturday morning, but I got up time I normally get up for school before, while my dad was getting ready for work, and tried a little bit more to convince him. I have a friend, and her dad works on trucks, not as a full-time job, but he's I want to say a part-time mechanic, I guess. And he said he'd help me work on it. I've got a bunch of buddies in the tractor club that have had trucks about this age, Ford trucks, or have trucks about this age. And I had sources. I had people that would help me work on it. The people that we bought it from really wanted me to end up with it, and my mom knew I really wanted it. And I had a lot of things working in my favor except for Dad. And so I was just trying really hard to convince my dad. I told him he didn't have to mess with it or anything, and he just wouldn't. He didn't like it, so since he didn't like it, I wasn't gonna get it, basically. And so I was just kind of upset about it for the rest of the week because I'd wanted this for over a year. You know, I I'd picture me driving it. I know all of what I wanted to do to it. Which isn't very much, but I know what I'd want to do to it. And I everything about it I love, and so I I was very very disappointed about it. So my dad and I went to look at this thing on the Friday, and we had to go on Friday because Saturday morning there was a guy coming by. He saw this sitting out in the driveway at Mike's, and he wanted to buy it, and Mike told me this guy needed something on his farm. That's what this guy was going to buy this truck for, and so I just kind of figured when I couldn't convince Dad after all that time, I just figured that it was gone. And I know that there's not a lot of dreams um, in life that actually come true. You have to accept reality, and so I just kind of knew that's how this is. Just another dream that you have to forget. And so Friday or Saturday morning, I was going over to my friend's house, and I had a little bit of time to kill before I went over there. So I went over to Mike's and took some last pictures of the Ford. Mike comes out, and he was all excited because he thought I was coming over with the money that I had convinced Dad to buy the truck, and he was all excited. He was upset when I told him that Dad wouldn't let me get it, and he anyway we talked for a little bit, and I was on my way, and Mike calls me when I'm on my way over to my friend's, and he asked for Dad's number, and so I guess he called Dad. I don't know if he called Dad or not. Dad was at work, so he probably didn't answer his phone because he works in the factory, so they're busy a lot, and you can't hear the phone. So, but anyhow, everything was going for me except for Dad not wanting me to get it. That was the only thing that really wasn't going. And so anyway, we go over to Mike and Tony's for me to help Mike move something in the barn, and he opens the door, and this truck's sitting there, and I didn't process that these are in there, that these are hanging from it, or there's a balloon in the cab. I didn't process any of that. I saw the truck, and I didn't want to. I knew it was gone. I figured the guy just hadn't come to pick it up yet. The guy that had bought it supposedly, and I knew that it was gone, so I didn't really want to look at it any more than I had to because I don't like being real upset in front of people, and I was pretty upset about not being able to get it, and so I just Mike goes, well, there it is, points to the truck, and I just kind of nod, and I say something to him. I can't remember what I say, and just kind of looking at him, and then my mom and Tony tell me, that the guy didn't come and buy it, and that my mom had agreed to let me get it, and I don't cry very often unless somebody really close to me dies, or something absolutely catastrophic happens. I don't cry very often, and so I was crying when I had told my dad how much I wanted it after hours of not being able to convince him. But then Mike, Mike and Tony, have told me that it's mine, and I I just my brain's still processing, that it's mine, that it's not gone, because I thought it was gone, and then I go in the barn with Mike and I read the card that Tony wrote out for me, and I my I can't put it into words. I've never ever been so happy that I cried before. Yeah, I've been up. I of course cry when you're upset or whatever, but I have never experienced crying because you're so happy that your brain can't process it. But that's what happened when I got this. I was so happy. My brain couldn't. I don't know. I don't have words for that feeling. It was just so amazing, and so this truck is pretty special to me, and that's why the congratulations balloon and these paper pom poms were hanging from the truck, because everybody was happy that I got it, and so these were all pretty and stuff, and then it sat out in the driveway, at Mike and Tony's, and it snowed and all that, and so they're kind of just in the bezels right now until I get lights, so no dirt or anything gets in these plugs. But so that's how I got this. I was so happy, and what's cool about it, when I was signing the title, the way that Mike and Tony ended up with this truck is they bought this farm that they live on, and the guy that they bought it from, his name was Bob Ludwig, and they bought this place from him, and they became really good friends with him. And anyway, when he passed away, there were some things in the barn that Bob's family didn't want or whatever, and I guess there was a John Deere tractor and this truck, and they just kind of the family, I guess, didn't want them or whatever. They were sold to him somehow. Anyway, they ended up with a few things, and Mike could use this a little bit, but not very often, and so since this was one of their close friends' things, I don't know, they didn't really want to sell it, and Tony wanted to fix it up, and Mike had sold his dad's marathon station in Kokomo, and so he had to find a place to put all these signs and toolboxes and whatnot that he'd pulled out of the shop, because since it was his dad's, shop, he really wanted to hold on to that stuff, and so he was paying, a storage place, and that gets expensive. The storage does, and so he brings it all home, and he's like, I gotta get rid of that truck, because he's got the truck he used at the service station. He's got another older truck. It's pretty new by my standards, but anyway, he's got two other pickup trucks that are roadworthy. He just uses this around the house or whatever. And so he'd never licensed this, was the bottom line. And so when I signed the title, I got to sign the original title, the back of the original title from this is 72. Evidently, Bob, the guy that had owned this, had got it in 73. And this title is from 1973, It's so cool. And I'll be disappointed to have to turn that in when I go to license this. I mean, I'd like to stick it in a big frame, but they don't let you keep that stuff, I don't think. So anyway, that's that's the story of how I ended up with this truck. And I'll do some more videos of, working on it or what I'm going to do to it, which really isn't very much. I'm going to put lights in it and secure this so that it's not doing that. Secure this piece here. But I'm not going to fix any of this. I like that it's missing a third of the bumper. And, it stands out. It doesn't blend in with everything else. Of course, it'd stand out anyway. It's loud and it'll stand out anyway. But this makes this truck what it is. All the dings and scratches all around it, crack in the windshield. That's part of what makes this truck specifically. So that's how I ended up with this. And so the video that I posted of my friend Johnny and I messing with this truck, I hadn't really planned on posting that before I posted the video of how I got this, but that's how it ended up, because that's just kind of how it went. And I figured I would. I had some guys ask me, how'd you end up with it? And so I thought, well, I'll have that in a later video, and I'll add in the video of me getting this truck. You can see I don't quite understand that it's mine yet when Mike opens the barn door. I still see this truck is still there, and I'm trying not to look at it because I didn't think it was mine. And and so, something you want that you can't have, you don't really want to look at it too much or think about it. And so, of course, it'd been on my mind, but I was trying real hard not to think about it, not to, look at it in the barn. So I didn't see any of the party supplies, for lack of a better term, that was tied to it. So I'll include that video. Like, comment, subscribe for more. I'll catch you in the next video. Have a great day. There it is.
The guy didn't come by it, Wyatt.
He didn't?
No.
It's yours, Wyatt.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Tony. They wouldn't have it, but you'd have this great big nice beautiful truck. Oh wow. Oh my God, she wrote a paragraph and a half in there.
Thank you so much.
Go thank the two girls. They're the people.
Thank you so much.
I wouldn't have had it any other way, Wyatt. Oh.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I told your mom, here's your gas gauge.
Just like yours.
Just like your other one. So this.
Hey, at least you can do that with this one. Mine bends down like
Yeah.
that. I can't. Mine, I just have to guess.
Anyway, there's another one in there too. But